Hey, it's Vicky, and I thought I would do a reading vlog for you guys. Just a weekend reading vlog. There's no theme to this vlog other than like I'm mostly reading spooky things because we are getting close to Halloween. But I am reading or focusing on a couple of books this weekend that I'm really excited about, and so I thought I would take you guys along with me. There's 3 books that I'm hoping to not complete this weekend. Maybe one of them I'll complete, but just to kind of read this weekend. And 2 of them are anticipated releases, 2022 releases, so that's awesome. Okay, so firstly, I have on my Kindle, I am reading The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, which is a horror novella that I've had on my Kindle for quite a while. And it's one that I've wanted to tackle because A, I have never read Clive Barker, though I hear he's great. And this one in particular I wanted to read because this is the basis for the movie Hellraiser, which is like a classic horror movie, though I have to admit I have only seen the movie Hellraiser one time. It was many years ago, but I remember liking it. I loved the like practical effects and stuff from that movie, and the story was really dark and like kind of gory and everything. It was cool. Pinhead, I mean, who doesn't know who Pinhead is? So I'm really excited to tackle this one, and I started it last night, so I think I'm on chapter 3, and it's a pretty short book, so I should be able to finish it by the end of this vlog, I hope. And so far, I do really like the writing. Clive Barker's writing is like, it's hard to describe because he's writing about some pretty like grotesque, disturbing stuff. Like the first chapter in The Hellbound Heart was like, whoa. And if you don't know the story of Hellraiser, it's basically, if I remember right, because like I said, I've only seen the movie once, and it was a really long time ago, but it has to do with this puzzle box that if you solve it, something happens. And it's not what you think it is, though, if I remember right. The writing is very like grotesque, but like really good. I don't know how to explain it. I just like it. I don't know. I just vibe with it. I like it. So, yeah, hopefully if I really like this book, which so far I do, I definitely want to read more Clive Barker. And I know there are more books also in this series. So yeah, I will definitely be hopefully finishing that this weekend. And then the other 2 books, the first one is one that just came out in August, Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. And this one I've heard kind of mixed reviews about. I know Carol over at Carol Marie Reads loved this. She gave it like a glowing 5-star review. And she said that what she loved about it was weird. It was kind of confusing, but like in a good way. Like you're just like, what is going on? And I don't know, she just loved the vibes. So then I've heard other people that read this and they didn't so much appreciate the weirdness and the sort of like what the hell's going on of it all. And so I don't know where I'm gonna fall, but I'm excited. I still really want to check this out because yeah, I've heard such mixed things. So now I like feel like I need to read it to see where I fall. And this one is about a girl who returns to her childhood home, and her dad was a serial killer. And I want to say like he actually committed some of the crimes or like hid the bodies in this house or on the property or something. And now she's returning there because her mom is dying or something like that. And so it's going to bring back, I'm sure, when she goes there, brings back all kinds of like trauma, traumatic memories, things like that. I don't know. So I'm excited to dive in. And then the other one, I'm hoping to start it on audio, hopefully tomorrow, because I'm finishing up an audiobook right now. And once that one is done, then I can start a new one. So I'm gonna start The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. And this is another one that was like an anticipated release that came out in September, I believe. And this one is basically like a Carrie retelling, which I know some of you are like, Vicky, you just said in a video not too long ago that Carrie is one of your least favorite Stephen King books. Why would you read a Carrie retelling? Listen, I don't know. I think I hope that the problems I had with Carrie, Tiffany D. Jackson will fix in her retelling of such. Because this one is about a young girl, I don't know if it says her name, Maddie? Is that her name? Yes. Who, I think she moves to a new town and she is biracial, and so she is like sort of bullied and teased for that. And I'm assuming it's gonna kind of be the same deal as Carrie, you know, she gets bullied and blah, 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 but then she has some sort of telekinetic power or something, maybe? And it's like a revenge story like Carrie, I don't know. So I'm hoping that what Tiffany D. Jackson does in this is that she makes Maddie, because to me, Carrie was not a likable character. I could not sympathize with Carrie, and that was my problem with that book. Where here, I'm hoping that Maddie will be more of a character that I can just like, I don't know, there's more depth to, there's more to her and her situation and stuff. I just really want to see what she does with it. Because I have read Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I read that earlier this year, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. So, yeah. I'm going to hopefully start this one on audio. I'm thinking probably tomorrow. So, I'm going to be vlogging. Today's Friday. I'm going to be vlogging today, tomorrow, and Sunday. And I, like I said, I hope to finish the Hellbound Heart. I don't know how much reading I will get done tomorrow because it's kind of a busy day. We just have a lot going on, but, and today it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't read it all. But, yeah, hopefully I get some reading done and hopefully these books, are great. I really hope so, because like I said, they are anticipated. So yeah, I am going to probably right now either try to finish the audiobook that I'm trying to finish up while I do some housework, or I'm gonna sit down and maybe start Just Like Home. So I will check in with you guys later when I have an update. Okay, so I'm in my basement because I'm editing a vlog that is going up tomorrow, hopefully. So I have two vlogs this month, but I actually have to finish the one book to complete the vlog. So yeah, I'm working on that. That's the audiobook I'm trying to wrap up. But I did read like 60, almost 70% of the Hellbound Heart on my Kindle this morning because I like did not want to put it down. I really think that this is going to be a 5-star read for me, which is super exciting. I don't know what it is. It's just like a really like just addicting story. Like you don't want to stop reading. You want to know what's going to happen next. And it's so like dark and disturbing. And even though like I kind of remember where the movie goes with it, I don't really remember that much. So I'm also like, I just like need to know what's happening. And Clive Barker's writing is just, it's really good. Like it's very like, it's straightforward, but it's also just really well done. It's not overly flowery, but it has this sort of like just underlying sort of darkness to it, but it's also very simple. So I wish that we didn't have such a busy day today so that I could just like sit and read this book because that's all I want to do. But I have like all this stuff to do today. It's actually one of the busiest Saturdays that we've had in like a really long time. Actually, I have to leave in like a half an hour to take Leia to her dance studio because she decided to join their competition team this year. She joined their part-time team and to kind of try it out for this season. And they have a big little program, which is like it's basically like a mentoring program. Like she's going to get paired up with an older kid and they're going to kind of just like cheer her on at competitions and like she cheers them on, and she can come to them and ask questions about competing and stuff like that. And it's a good program, especially for, you know, a first-time competitor. So she wanted to do it. So they're doing that today it's like an hour-long thing. She has to go. They're going to have cider and donuts, and then she's going to meet her big, and then they're going to do some sort of activity together. I don't know. So we have that, and then later on this afternoon, she has her last soccer game of the season. And then after that, we're heading over to Austin's brother's house for our annual pumpkin carving party that we've been doing the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years. So it's going to be a jam-packed day, but exciting. But that means that I'm not going to have a ton of time to read today. And like I said, I really wish I could just sit down and just read the Hellbound Heart and finish it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I get a couple little breaks throughout the day where I will try to do that. So yeah, that's my update. I also read like the first 2 chapters of Just Like Home. So I've only read 16 pages, so not really enough to give you any sort of impressions other than the writing is pretty flowery, but I tend to like that. So we'll see. So yeah, hopefully I will finish this today, and then I can really dive more into this one. So it is now the next day. Unfortunately, yesterday I did not have any time to read in the afternoon, really. It was just a busy day, but a good day. But first thing this morning, I was like, I am doing nothing until I finish the Hellbound Heart. And so I finished it, and it was awesome. I gave it 5 stars. It was just so, like, I thought the story was pretty unique. And dark, and there was like some like gory bits, like body horror bits, and Clive Barker's writing, like I keep saying this, but I just really like his writing. Like it's just so like it's dark, and it's at certain times it's kind of erotic, and like just the concept of the story is so like, I think just like sort of like fantastical and just different. And so I loved it. And now I want to watch the movie. I'm going to maybe try to do that today. And now I need to find more Clive Barker. I need to read more Clive Barker. So anybody out there that has read him, even like, I know he's written stuff like kind of like fantasy, like dark fantasy stuff for like middle grade YA readers, I believe. Like even that, like, tell me what I should read next by Clive Barker. Because I have this sequel essentially to the Hellbound Heart. It's called The Scarlet Gospels, and Austin got me that book a long time ago, but I just never read it because I was like, I have to read the Hellbound Heart first. And unfortunately, it has horrible reviews on Goodreads. Like a lot of people don't like it. So I do want to read it eventually, but I would rather read some of his other stuff. And then I'm even sort of thinking about doing like I'm doing with Stephen King and reading his stuff in order. Maybe, I don't know. Is that a good idea? Clive Barker readers out there, tell me what I should do. So yeah, that was great. I'm super happy that I read that and enjoyed it so much. And then this morning, I've been listening to the audiobook for The Weight of Blood because I have like laundry and stuff to do, and I'm already like, how far am I? Like 100 pages in, I think, already. It is going quick. It is going by quick, and I'm completely sucked in. What's cool about this is if any of you have read Carrie, which is what this is, you know, sort of like a reimagining, retelling of Carrie. The way that Stephen King wrote that book was he used obviously just like a normal like third person narrative, but then he also used like newspaper articles and like interviews to kind of like interspersed to kind of tell you like, so you already know at the beginning that like something bad happened, like it's gonna happen, and you're kind of going back and seeing the why of it all. And Tiffany Jackson, is doing that in this book. She's using like a podcast element where there's these two people and they're kind of talking about what happened, this big bad thing that happened, and then you're going back and kind of seeing how they got there. And then even within those, like kind of going back in time, there's multiple POVs. There's like, I want to say there's three, maybe four. So you're getting a lot of different perspectives, and I really like it. I really like it a lot. And I'm glad that I'm reading this because it talks a lot in here about, because the whole prom situation in this book is that the school that our main character Maddie goes to, and she is biracial, but she has been passing for white up until now. And the school that she goes to, they have separate proms. They have black prom and they have white prom. And I'm an idiot, I guess. Like, I did not realize that still goes on today in this country. There are still schools that do separate proms for black and white students. And that's just mind-boggling to me. But there it is, and I learned it because I read this book. And so yeah, that's kind of like the thing, is now they want to integrate the prom and bring everybody together. And so it does deal a lot with race, and specifically in like Southern communities, high schools, because that's what you're dealing with. But so far, like, I'm super into it. I think Maddie is a little bit more, I think she is more likable than Carrie, that's for sure. You definitely sympathize with her because her dad is pretty much crazy. Just like Carrie's mom was crazy though, and Carrie, she was like a religious fanatic. Her dad is, what is he? He's the one who's like, was forcing her to pass as white, because he's white. Her mother was black. Her mother, as far as we know, her mother died in childbirth. But he's also like obsessed with the 1950s and has this very like that's to him is like the perfect vision of America and even like girls, you know, women. So like he like wants Maddie to model herself after like actresses and celebrities from that time period, and it's just really strange. At one point, like, he makes her go into the prayer closet, kind of like what Carrie's mom does. And Carrie, like, there's this little closet that she like basically locks her in and makes her pray. And her dad, Maddie's dad, does that in this, but like in the prayer closet, there's all these pictures of, you know, like famous celebrities from the 1950s, and then in their like T-length dresses and their like perfectly bobbed curled hair and stuff like that. And it's just really disturbing. I'm totally into this right now. I'm loving it. And it's like a full cast kind of. There's like every perspective that you get in the book is a different narrator. So it's kind of also makes it kind of fun. It's good. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm also going to try, because I haven't picked this up since Friday. So I'm really going to try to read some of this because I'm only 16 pages in. So hopefully I will get some reading done now, because I don't have a whole lot to do now for the rest of the afternoon. So I'm going to read and hopefully put a dent in these. So it is now Monday, but I wanted to wrap up the weekend vlog for you guys. Last night, Austin and I watched the Hellraiser movie, and it was good. I liked it. I mean, it was a pretty solid adaptation, but that's probably because Clive Barker like wrote the screenplay and directed it. So there were changes from the book for sure, but they were like not huge changes. and the overall story was still there. The effects in it were super fun. I really enjoyed it. So I don't know if I'll ever watch any of the sequels because I've heard that they're, you know, okay. And then Austin actually just, was it like last weekend? He watched the remake that they just came out with and he said it was horrible and not to bother watching it. So I don't know. I still might just to kind of see. And then I did make it like more than halfway through The Weight of Blood, and I am really enjoying this. It's really entertaining. It's really fun to listen to because you have all of the different POVs and you have, like I said, that sort of like podcast element, and then like there's also like other like kind of like news reports and things. It just makes it really fun to listen to, and for a Carrie retelling, it's pretty great. So I definitely will like wrap this up more in my October wrap up because I still have, you know, 200 pages to go. But so far, yeah, it's pretty much like she's pretty much sticking to the kind of same timeline, not timeline, but sort of like plot as Carrie. But like I said, I think this one is better. I'm enjoying it a lot more, so yeah. And then I haven't really talked about this one much, but I'm about 50 pages into Just Like Home and also really enjoying this one. The writing is so good. Like, I know some people might not really jive with it because it is very like wordy and flowery. There's a lot of descriptions and it almost seems like every like second or third sentence has some sort of like flowery description. But I like it. I think it's really setting a mood. And it's definitely has some creep factor. Like the chapter I just read was kind of a flashback chapter to when our main character Vera was a little girl and she got scared one night because she thought that there was a monster under her bed because she was hearing these noises. But then, you know, as the reader, because her dad kind of comes and soothes her and tells her it's probably an animal or something in the basement because her room is right over the basement. But we know, now that we know that her father was a serial killer, that he was probably doing some pretty sinister stuff down there and she was hearing it. And so the whole like mood is just kind of creepy. Not much has really happened like plot wise, but I think though that like a tone is being set. And I think this is gonna probably end up being more of like a character story than a plot driven story. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with it because as long as like the vibes are there and I get that sort of unsettled, just kind of want to jump out of my skin, crawl out of my skin feeling, then I'm good. And so far, that's what this is kind of doing. So yeah, I am enjoying this one. We'll definitely be finishing it soon. And like I said, same with The Weight of Blood, I will be wrapping both of these up in my October wrap up. So I'm definitely finishing the month off pretty strong with some pretty good reads. I will say, spoiler, that the early part of the month was not so great. So yeah. So that is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog. I haven't done a weekend reading vlog in a while, so I thought it would be kind of fun to do. And yeah, that's it. Let me know down below what you are putting in terms of last minute spooky reads, if that is your thing, since Halloween is right around the corner. Let me know what you guys are reading because I want to know. And that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.